There's only been one Iron Lady, Paula Newby-Fraser. She has reigned supreme with a record 7 victories and 12 outings in Hawaii, never finishing worse than 4th. In the history of the Ironman, a European has never won, but Germany's Thomas Hellriegel came so close last year when he finished 2nd, the best place to date by any European. And then, just a short while later, Isabelle Mouton from France also finished 2nd to equal Hellriegel's performance. 1995 was certainly a milestone for Europe. But could a European go one better this year and win the 20th Hawaii Ironman? All 6 official worldwide Ironman races this year have been won by Europeans. So what chances in Hawaii? This year, the chance that a German wins is very good. There are many top Germans, but also many top Europeans. And this year is the best chance yet. For me, Hawaii is very special. It's the most important competition for me. I started with triathlon because of Hawaii, and to win, well, it would be a dream.
Wäre das natürlich ja, wie die Erfüllung eines Traums.
Kona, the start and finish of the Ironman. Out of 1,500 starters this year, 368 are Europeans, with 280 from Germany. The 125 professional men and women are given a 10-meter buffer in front of the age groupers. And for everyone, the start of the opening 2-mile swim is extremely important.
For me, it's always like I'm not staying on the right side. I'm staying a little bit to the left because I mean you can get beat up pretty much because I mean everybody goes out like as hard as they can and die after 200 meters. But well, that's I think part of the plan to find some feet where you can swim on, which is not a problem for me because I usually swim on my own, or, which is okay. I like it because I can swim my own pace and the race starts, not in the swim. I mean, it takes a while to get through that, but the real race just starts when you finish the swim and sit on the bike.
For the past 2 years, Wolfgang Dietrich had missed the Ironman with a knee injury, and last year, American Olympic swimmer Lars Jorgensen broke the course record. Jorgensen leads again, but Dietrich is right on his feet.
Dolphins right in front of our boat.
The 2.4-mile swim is an out-and-back affair, a simple format, but you have to be aware of certain conditions.
You need to be aware that there is a current sometimes, waves, salt water, so you should avoid to drink it all the time. It might upset your stomach. And it's funny because when the current is pretty strong, you swim, see the rocks underneath you, and you think you're standing still, which you sometimes do because when the currents comes in or the waves coming in, you just swim and swim and swim, and you think you're not going forward. But I guess it's for everybody the same. But it's if you're not used to it, then you might get a little bit upset, and so you better try it out first in training, and then you know what you're doing.
In the pack behind the leaders is the first woman, and it's another German, Ute Muckel, number 51 with a yellow cap. Muckel is the only woman to come out of the water first over this distance when racing with the men, as at last year's European Championships in Yuma, she did just that. But this year, Muckel won the biggest Ironman outside of Hawaii, the Ironman Europe in Roth, Germany, which makes her one of the favorites for success here on the Big Island. She's even got time for a little backstroke to check out the opposition. British triathletes have dominated over the shorter distances, but not at the Ironman. Spencer Smith aims to change all this next year, and he gave us his thoughts on the race and this year's swim.
It's pretty much as predicted of Wolfgang, but he's taking it steadier this year and letting somebody else do the work for a change. But of course, it's the Ironman. As usual, it's the best race, so looking forward to it at the moment.
And you go right round these 2 boats. Look.
Halfway at 1.2 miles, and this is where they turn around and head back to the pier.
Sorry, you're right there.
Jorgensen still sets the pace, and Dietrich is content to let the American do all the work. In previous years, it's been Dietrich out front, but as he told us, the race doesn't start until after the swim. And he also knows that Jorgensen is just a swimmer and no real threat once out in the lava fields. Behind the leaders, Ute Muckel still heads the women's race as they round the turnboat. The swim's nearly over and they're back at the pier where it all started just under 50 minutes ago. Under an hour and you've done well, but several swimmers won't even make the 2-hour 20-minute cutoff time. After a 2-year break, Dietrich is back at his best, at least in the water, but he knows this is the easiest part for him. The 112-mile bike and final marathon run will show if his injury is a thing of the past. Quick change and Dietrich enters the bike park first, looking as though he's just come out of the shower, with no real signs of swim effort. The little things are done in style at Ironman, so it's just one complete movement. Pick up your chariot, jump on, and set off for around 4.5 hours of biking. With a handful of men out of the water, Ute Muckel finishes as the first woman, with a time that many men would dearly love. The pre-race talk, and rightly so with their performances this year, has been all about which German would win. But a Belgian, Luc van Lierde, an Ironman rookie, already has other ideas. Thomas Hellriegel was second last year, and in many people's eyes the favourite this time round, especially as Mark Allen has retired. The swim is a little more than an inconvenience to the young German, and he's already thinking about his strength, the bike. Switzerland's Natascha Badmann is better known as a duathlete, a runner and biker, and swimming is certainly her weakness. It's just a question of how much time she loses in the swim to the other women. She's over 9 minutes behind the likes of Muckel and 6 minutes behind Paula Newby-Fraser, the defending champion, American Karen Smiles. Badmann only thinks about her race, so what the others are doing is of little worry at this stage. The 112-mile Ironman bike course is not just about the distance. Yes, it's a long way and takes around 5 hours for the woman, but it's always hot and the winds are the main concern. And on this day, the weather is kind with little wind. Muckel still heads the woman. As Ironman, Thomas Hellriegel rode away from the field and had a lonely ride at the front. The tactic worked, so it wasn't too surprising that he tried it again this time round. Only one athlete went with him, Luc van Lierde from Belgium. As the Hellriegel swept past the field, van Lierde took up the challenge and stayed with the German. After several unsuccessful attempts to break clear, Hellriegel realized that it wasn't going to be so lonely this year. Behind, Wolfgang Dietrich was biking well and showing that he was back at his best and still a threat to the new boys on the block. Great things were expected of yet another young German, Lothar Leder, who earlier this year made history when he became the first triathlete to break the 8-hour barrier for the Ironman. Dave Scott's world record of just over 8 hours was set in Japan back in 1989. But Leder, when winning Ironman Europe it wrote, went a staggering 7 hours, 57 minutes and 2 seconds. He smashed the world's best time. The problem for Leder is that history has also shown that the winner of the Ironman Europe has never won in Hawaii in the same year. Yet another German, Jürgen Zach, holds the bike course record at Ironman, 4 hours, 27 minutes and 42 seconds for the 112-mile ride. Hellriegel threatened the record last year with his solo ride, so could it be better this year?
Oh, Thomas Hellriegel announced that he'll ride in the low 420s. I'll be with him.
Wishful thinking, but even the powerful Zach is no match for Hellriegel on this day.
Also ich glaube, dass dieses Jahr das
The race this year will be
anders
totally
ablaufen
different to
wird
last
als im
year.
vergangenen Jahr.
The speed on the bike course will be much higher
Wird die Geschwindigkeit
because the other athletes
und das
will not
Tempo
let
beim
me get away
Radfahren
like last
wesentlich
year.
höher sein als letztes Jahr, weil eben die anderen Athleten mich wohl nicht mehr so weit wegfahren lassen
So it will be the run
wollen
which will
wie
decide the
letztes
race.
Jahr. Und
And so I
deshalb wird es wohl auch
prepared specially
entscheidend sein,
for this
wer am
part,
Ende
the
am
run.
schnellsten läuft. Und daraufhin habe ich auch mich vorbereitet.
Natasha Badman has a reputation on the bike. This is her domain. She's known for pushing big gears, which helped her win the Powerman on home soil in Switzerland.
I had a fantastic race in Zofingen, but I trained much for Zofingen. It was a whole life that I did for Zofingen. Every work that I did was for Zofingen. My whole family, my coach, my daughter, we all lived for Zofingen, and it was my first high point in this season. It was also my first long distance in this season, and so I didn't know really what happened because I had no experience. And now it's a little bit the same here in Hawaii. I have no experience on a long triathlon, and it's quite new to me, but it's my second high point this season, and so I think it should be a good race.
Harvey is the turn point on the bike. Just 60 miles to go before the final marathon run. Our two Europeans are gradually extending their lead, and by Harvey, they are 4.5 minutes clear of the rest of the field. It's time now to reload and head back to the lava fields. The defending women's champion is Karen Smyers, and by Harvey she has gone to the front and passed Uta Muckle, who is starting to struggle just a little in the heat. With no Mark Allen, the spectators can at least cheer for their other American hero, Karen Smyers. Now leading the European charge for the woman is Natasha Badman, and as the Americans say, she's looking good. Strong and steady riding has brought Badman into contention, and she's just seen her rivals going the other way. She now knows what's to be done on the return leg to Kona. The ever-smiling Natasha Badman looks to be really enjoying her first Ironman experience. In 1994, Natasha Badman became the first ever Swiss athlete to win a major championship medal when finishing third at the European Championships in Nova Mesta. In 1995, she went one better in Europe with a silver medal in Stockholm, and later that year she won the World Duathlon title in Cancun, Mexico. 1996 started with another silver at the European Duathlon Championships in Portugal, and then the victory at Powerman. Badman certainly likes the winning feeling. The Ironman lady, Paula Newby-Fraser, is just up the road from Badman, and unusually for her, she's still not leading, a position she's well used to here on the Big Island. 1996 has been a great year for European long-distance triathletes, with Leder breaking the 8-hour barrier, and then the Dutchman, Jan van der Marel, just outside at the Holland Almere Triathlon. Van der Marel's time was the second fastest ever over the Ironman distance. But he knows it will be a little different here in Hawaii.
Well, I think the Germans are very strong. Well, everybody thinks so, and they were very strong in road. And even then, Thomas Hellriegel wasn't there. So, and I think Thomas Hellriegel is the big favorite for me in this race here. Also because well, he has a little shorter season than the others have had. And well, he came back very strong from his disease, why he couldn't start in road. He did Canada was very good there, so I think for me he's the top favorite here.
Well, Hellriegel was hoping to race at Ironman Europe, but shingles forced him out. After his doctors gave him the nod that all was okay, he entered Ironman Canada with great success. Yes, unbelievable. But if you have the strength and determination of Thomas Hellriegel, then anything is possible. For over 4 hours, Hellriegel and Van Lierde push on, and the course record looks certain to be broken. Van Lierde has not been along just for the ride, though, as he's done his fair share of work at the front. However, Van Lierde is not aware that a bike violation for blocking another rider early in the race will mean a 3-minute penalty in the sin bin when he arrives at the final transition, just round the corner at the Kona Surf. And Luc Van Lierde approached the final bike-to-run transition at this year's Hawaii Ironman. For Hellriegel, his second time at Ironman, a new bike course record of 4 hours, 24 minutes and 50 seconds. Van Liерde's ride is only 2 seconds slower than the old record, but the 3-minute penalty for his misdemeanor on the bike will give him time to reflect as Hellriegel takes full advantage and sets off on the final 26.2-mile marathon run. At this stage, it seems a harsh penalty for the Belgian, but who knows, this enforced break could be a blessing in disguise. Paula Newby-Fraser is now in the position she knows so well, at the front. But like Van Lierde, she too has the same 3-minute penalty for blocking on the bike. Natasha Badman has rowed herself into contention, and with Newby-Fraser's penalty, she will lead the race going into the final marathon run. As Van Lierde gets into his stride, he must be careful not to push too hard, too early to try to catch Hellriegel. A tough task, especially when you're really annoyed and running on pure adrenaline. So perhaps it's time to reflect on his season.
Well, it's been a great season, but a long season also. But I didn't do so much competitions. I only did 7 competitions. It's my 8th competition now, Hawaii. And I've chosen maybe 4 competitions that are very important for me. And the other competition was just for training. So I kept building up my training for those competitions. So I recuperate very easily from the races too.
And what a year, which started with a win at the European Championships in Szombathely in Hungary. 2 second places in the World Short and Long Course Championships was followed by a great victory on the Côte d'Azur in Nice. Europe now leads in both divisions as Natasha Badman takes full advantage of Newby-Fraser's misfortune. Her coach and mentor, Tony Hassler, looks back to see where the opposition are. Karen Smars has also passed Newby-Fraser, who is now back in 3rd position. Must be thinking that victory has perhaps slipped away for the 2nd consecutive year. Thomas Hellriegel is back in the lava fields and is running well, and even has time to increase his position over the Belgian. But Hellriegel knows that anything can happen, especially out here in this desolate place. Luc Van Lierde has quickly forgotten his enforced break at the Kona Surf transition. He may be a rookie here, but the experience of winning Nice just a few weeks before the Ironman has given him great strength and added confidence. He knows that if Hellriegel does have a weakness, then the run could be it. Another European who has tasted victory this year is Alexander Taubert from Mannheim in Germany. Taubert is also having his best race yet here in Ironman. His 6th place finish will be the 3rd European home and one of 7 Europeans in the top 10. His victory at Euroman in Switzerland in Zurich earlier this season made two in a row, and next season this event changes status to become Ironman Switzerland, and one of only 3 official Ironman races in Europe, along with Ironman Lanzarote and Ironman Europe in Roth. It didn't take long in the run for the Queen of Kona, Paula Newby-Fraser, to reassert her position at the front of the race, as by Kaloa Kona, she is leading once again. But Natasha Badmann, well, she doesn't know how to give up, and she keeps near Newby-Fraser, and she can see her firmly in her sights. Now on the way home, Thomas Hellriegel still leads, but cramp and tiredness has forced him to slow a little. But he's still running overall 10 minutes quicker than last year. Van Lierde has closed, and he can see the German just up in front. Somehow, he has found the energy and will to quicken his pace, and now the Ironman rookie can sense that his time is near. After 24 miles of controlled running, Van Lierde is again on the shoulder of Hellriegel, and the German must be thinking of last year, as at virtually the same place he was run down by Mark Allen, who went on to win his 6th title. You must feel sorry for Hellriegel, because he's done everything right. He swum faster, broke the bike course record, and ran for 10 minutes quicker, but it's still not enough as Van Lierde cruises by and takes the lead for the first time on the run.
Here we come, Luc Van Lierde. What a fantastic day for him. A first European to win it. And whoever would have thought it would have been a Belgian winner. Germans, Germans, Germans. That's what the Americans kept talking about, the Germans. But, you know, Luc is very quiet. He's a strong guy. I've raced against him many, many times, and he's a very, very strong competitor. Very tough. It's a fantastic achievement, obviously, to win on his first time, first European. Truly great.
So on the 20th anniversary of this great event, a European is going to win. Luc Van Lierde, the 27-year-old from Bruges in Belgium, the European champion, the runner-up at both the short and long distance World Championships this year, now adds the Hawaii Ironman title to his collection. And amazingly, the first-timer also breaks the course record, 8 hours, 4 minutes and 8 seconds for the 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike and 26.2-mile marathon run. Thomas Hellriegel also breaks the old course record of Mark Allen, but for the 2nd consecutive year, he finishes 2nd and must be thinking, what will it take to win the Ironman? The Europeans have certainly arrived, with 7 finishing in the top 10. Talbot 6, Hungary's Peter Kropko 7, another Belgian, Jean Moreau 8, Van der Marl 9th, and yet another German, Matthias Klump, rounding out the top 10. Back with the women, and Natasha Badmann is running stride for stride with Paula Newby-Fraser. Could this be a European double? And could she experience the same feeling of Luc Van Lierde as he ran down the finish chute for victory?
Oh, that was exceptional. I never had that feeling before, and I hope I'm going to have it again. But at the last moment, I was thinking of everybody who helped me to have a good result here. I was thinking of my family, and so it's an exceptional feeling.
It wasn't quite Badmann's days. In the end, Paula Newby-Fraser made amends for her defeat last year, and she came home a winner for a record 8th time. But Natasha Badmann, in her first attempt at Ironman, can go away with great credit. She gave it her best shot and just came up short in the closing stages. If you can't win, then 2nd place is the next best thing. The Swiss athlete made many friends with this performance, and her time will certainly come, perhaps quicker than even she imagined. Udo Muckel was the next best European woman when she finished 5th. We had to wait until the 20th running of the Hawaii Ironman to witness a European victory. Natasha Badmann and Thomas Hellriegel were so close when they both came 2nd. But the Belgian Luc Van Lierde is now firmly in the record books with a victory that will be remembered for many years to come. The first European Ironman.